Welcome back to Tied Up with the Morgans. So today's video is, do you want to tell them?
No.
I'll tell them. Today's video is answering a question that we get a lot. A lot of the times people ask us, how do we meet?
Yeah. Well, actually, I have posted the post on Instagram and also on our channel on YouTube that like if you guys have any questions about us, just leave the question there and then we will do it for our anniversary. But we didn't get much question.
Yeah, but we get a lot of questions on videos.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is because everyone knows Kate's from Thailand. So I think everyone, when you hear that, and you know I'm from Pennsylvania and I grew up here, I think then you wonder, well, how did they meet?
Yeah.
So what people ask a lot in the comments, people have asked my parents' channel,
So yeah, start from the beginning. In 2016, I came here to America as an au pair. First year I was in Uniontown.
This is my favorite part. I had to chime in.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a story now. I always lived in America, but I think a lot of people who don't live in America, you only see like, you see New York City or you see Las Vegas or, California. You see like a lot of this stuff and you think that's America.
Yeah.
And so Kate, you were like that, right?
Yeah.
Just big cities. That's everything. That's America.
Because, I'm from Bangkok, Thailand, and it's always awake.
Yeah.
The city is always awake 24/7. You always find something going on out there, outside your house. And that's where I grown up.
Yeah.
And in my perspective of America, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a big country. It will have everything, even more Bangkok.
More than Bangkok, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you know much about Pennsylvania,
especially Uniontown.
that's what I was going to get at. You might know of Uniontown, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And
everything shut down at 9 p.m.
Yeah. So it is not like what you see on TV or in the movies when you watch America. You just think big cities, lights, 24/7. Uniontown. Are there more cows than people?
More what?
Are there more cows than people?
Oh, probably.
There might be more cows than people there.
Yeah, I was in the middle of nowhere. And I was shocked. I misses Bangkok so much for like couple months. Like, because I don't know anything. I don't know where to go. I don't even know where to get my cough medicine. I don't know what it called. I don't know where to get. And everything seems so hard here because all the prescription system, I have no idea.
Everything's different, yeah.
Yeah, so when I get like flu or coughing, all I did is take my own medicine that I brought it with me.
Really?
Yeah, and until I had some friend from church, and then she took me around and see stuff like, okay, you can get stuff from here, medicine you can get this from pharmacy, like the simple kind in general that you can get that without prescription, stuff like that. And that took me almost like 7 months to figure it out. Not figure it out, to know that I can get that on my own there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's rough.
That would be.
From not knowing anything, the system here in the country.
I need to interrupt. I need to pause.
What?
I'll be right back. I have to take my contact out.
Yeah.
So Uniontown.
Yeah. That was hard, but I went through it.
And so, in au pair, what did you do? How does that work? Some people might not know what that is. I always had just thought of it as like a nanny, but
yeah, it's kind of a nanny, but it's like full-time nanny that like you live in with the family. Your host family take care of everything of you, be like a guardian, sound like that. That like they'll be a sponsor for you to get a visa, get a ticket to come here through the agency. And
so everything's done through an agency, and the family like pays the agency, and then
and they will have like private room for you. You work, I'm not sure, about an hour, 35 to 40 hours a week, and then you got some day off, and then they pay you weekly, and that's it.
So it sounds great, I think. My perspective as an American, right, living here, when I met Kate and, I learned more about the program. Kate's had a lot of good families, for the most part. But I think a lot of people, or at least it sounds like most of your Thai friends, for the most part, they all come here through a similar agency, right? Like, not all of them, but a lot of her friends from Thailand came here as an au pair.
They have different...
It's just like it works. But what I was getting at, so like I think it sounds so good when you're not from America, but being from America and seeing it and finding out how much people get paid, it's really not nearly as good as it sounds.
It's not nearly as good, but you have to think of this, like you have free house, you have free food. I think that's a good deal.
Yeah.
But from where I came from, like from Thailand, it's less opportunity. Cause like I came here, my first thing that I want is the language. So from my view that look at it is I can learn every day for free once. I get paid weekly. I get food for free. But this one you have to sometimes you have to talk with the family too, because some family that not that nice. They make you pay your own food that you want to eat, which is like sound terrible to me, that what I have heard. But I am really lucky that all of my host family take care of the food for me, like so good. Like whatever I wanted, let them know they get it from me. Yeah, that's really lucky. And also with the house that I have a room to spend for myself. If you have to pay for the rent, that's a lot too. Yeah. So I think it's good for me, but for other, they might not have a good experience. They might not see it worth it. So I can't tell that. But for myself, I think it's great. Yeah.
I do too. Because it worked out. So anyways, she was in Uniontown for a year.
Yeah.
So you
went to church.
When you were in Uniontown.
Yeah.
You started going to church.
Yeah. I actually changed the religion since I was in Thailand. I was Buddhist and then I changed.
When you were in Thailand, you changed religion.
Yeah. And then I went to church since I was in Thailand too. So I came to America and then I found my church. So I went there in the local area.
Yeah. And it wasn't in Uniontown. It was in Oakland.
It was in Uniontown.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It was in Uniontown first, but it was a family branch.
Yeah, so it was like families. Most churches are like that. There's families, right?
Yeah. But our church have young single adult
so
branch ward.
Yeah, so they have like a church for like, college age or just, people. They have like a church for people who are just younger, single, without kids, right? Without being married, stuff like that. So it's just a way to meet other people.
So I went there. I decided to go there because I want more friends that like the same age with me, like that we can hang out and explore.
And that's in Oakland.
Yeah, that's
which is in Pittsburgh, but that's like where all the universities are. University of Pittsburgh, Carnegie Mellon. It's just a big college area. So how far is that from Uniontown? How long did that take you?
1 hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, so that's pretty far.
Yeah, so at the beginning, it's kind of hard for me to go there because I didn't have friends yet. And then later on, I had some friends and then I can sleep over with them. So
they lived closer.
Yeah, so I work Monday to Friday, and then Saturday I just do whatever I want, went shopping, do my stuff that I need done, and then like later in the afternoon came to Pittsburgh and then spend the night with my friends, sleep over, like girl night stuff like that, and then Sunday go to church, and after church then go back to Uniontown. I have done that for like over 6 months until I am done with my contract with the first family, and then I have to change.
And it's a year, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, you
can do it for up to a year with one family?
Yeah, you have a contract for 1 year, and when you're done, you can renew with the same family, or you can change the family to somewhere else.
And you were going to change.
Yeah, and I decide to change and go to Washington.
Before that, though, I had started I was in college, I was going to school, and I was going to the same church as Kate. And I actually saw Kate a lot during that time, but I never talked to her.
I have never seen him.
She never saw me.
Yeah, not at all. Until...
Well, I remember before that, I decided I was going to talk to this girl. But then she was able to go up and kind of speak for a little bit. And she was speaking and mentioned that was her last Sunday and she was going to be moving to Seattle. And I was like, you're kidding me. Today was the day I was going to talk to this girl. Because she's the most beautiful girl, right? So in this place, this is the girl. I'm like, for a while I saw her. I'm like, I'm going to talk to her. Never did. Finally, I'm like, I'm going to go talk to her. She's like, well, I'm moving. I'm like, okay.
Even that day, I didn't even see him.
That hurts.
Like, I don't know. Why don't you even say hi? Yeah, so I left. I went to Seattle.
For a new family, yeah.
Yeah, for the new family. And I found a young single adult branch ward there too. So I hang out over there, and then...
Found another church there, yeah.
Yeah, and then I hang out with one friend. And I actually hang out with a lot of friends, and one of my friends in the ward, in the branch that I attend, young single adult, he served in the same mission with Levi.
So I served a mission for our church.
Yeah.
And one of my friends from that I met was from Seattle and met Kate.
Yeah.
And talked oh, you were just in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
And then mentioned I know someone from Pittsburgh, being me.
Yeah, and he showed his Facebook, and I was like, I have never seen him. No, not at all. And then he was like, you must have seen him before because he is in Pittsburgh and he goes to
the same church.
Yeah, I don't know. And then later on, thing didn't work out with the family in Seattle, so I decided to come back here to Pittsburgh again. And then his friend from his mission said you should try to date him. And I was like, no, I don't like setting up stuff like that. I want it all to be natural. So I told him to not do the blind date or set up or anything
or
for
not
us.
Even to talk to me. And he never did. He never said a word to me hey, this girl's coming. So he kept his word.
Yeah, so I came...
Which probably is best. Maybe if he did, maybe I would have blew it, If I knew oh, my friend set me up, maybe I would have been extra confident and it wouldn't have worked. I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna work if he did that, because I'm I am a person that's oh, you have something set up. It's not natural. You didn't like me for real. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm gonna skip for sure. But he didn't do anything. He didn't set up stuff. He didn't contact you. But we met by ourselves. And then we start to talk, and I never heard a person named Levi before. So he introduced himself to me, and I was like, I don't think I will remember your name because we don't talk much, and it's just hard to remember. And then what did you say?
I said, I'm going to have to talk a lot then. So you remember my name.
Yeah, and he did. He talked a lot more.
That's something I've always been good at. I can talk.
Yeah, so he added me on Facebook, and then we keep talking, keep hanging out and stuff.
And at this point, she wasn't in Uniontown again. She was in another town a lot closer to where we live. Mm-hmm. So that helped, because Uniontown from here, I forget how far is Uniontown's pretty far. It's over an hour.
Yeah.
So she wasn't in the same place. She came back to a different family that happened to be like closer. 15, 20 minutes from where we were, from where we are now even.
Yeah.
So that helped. It probably would have worked out if you were in Uniontown maybe, but it would have been a lot harder.
Yeah, so he has come to the point that Debbie have more roles.
Yeah, if you remember our friend Debbie, you haven't seen her, but there was pictures, but we talked about when I was doing firewood.
Yeah.
There was a day I was talking about our friend Debbie that had passed away, who was a really close friend, especially to Kate. Her and her husband did a mission in Thailand. So this is for anyone who might not have seen that video.
Yeah.
If you haven't, we can put that video in here. We can put that video in here for you to watch it. I was just stacking firewood and talking about a really good friend of ours that had just passed away. Mm-hmm. Debbie and her husband, they did a mission in Thailand.
And I know.
How long ago now?
Oh, like 10 years.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, and they met Kate.
Yeah, and we keep in touch. And since I came here, she, not just
Yeah, you Debbie. Saw them when you were in
Debbie
Seattle, right?
And and even I was in Uniontown, she bought me a ticket to meet her in Philadelphia too. Like, we keep in touch all the time, like always ask for advice and stuff. And here is the most important part, because I'm about to go on a date with Levi, and I got nervous because I'm from Thailand. I don't know, like,
it's a completely different culture, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know what you guys like, because I watched from the movie. I love American people since I was little, because I feel like the humor, yeah, like how fun the joke and stuff is, it's close to Thai people, and I like that. So I watched from the movie, they kind of like, I don't know, it's different, because like the culture is really different, so I don't know what to do. Then I talked with Debbie, and she advised me a lot of things, and the most that I really think is help is she teach me to be confident and like myself, be confident, and before I go on the date, make a list of questions that I want to know about him. Because if I don't make that list, when I meet him in person, I will get nervous. I will get excited because like how much I like him. Yeah. So yeah, she said to make a list, and it's not like making a list and then bring a paper and go on the date. Like, you make a list, you read it, like what you want to know, and when you go, ask whatever you can remember and continue the questions, continue the conversation, because when you have nothing to say, it's gonna be like a dead air, and and you don't know what to say, he doesn't know what to say, and it's gonna make the first date weird.
Sorry for my yawn. It's really late right now. We can only do this when the kids are in bed.
Right.
So it's our bedtime now. So I apologize for yawning.
Yeah.
But at the time, obviously, I didn't know that she had this list of questions. But I remember, like,
I just keep talking.
Yeah, I talk a lot, right? I could talk to anyone forever about anything. You don't have to say a word. I'll keep the conversation going. But it wasn't like that, she was talking, and I was just, these questions were always, all of them, like, wow, like, that's a pretty good one, like.
Yeah, because.
Some of them very serious, and it was like, okay, this girl, and she even said, she's like, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to be with anyone that's going to play games, or you're not going to play games with me, are you? And I was like, wow.
Remember.
She put me on the spot right now.
You need to remember that when we were dating, I was close to turn 27.
Yeah.
And that is pretty late.
So you thought it was pretty late. I don't want to say this because it's not for everyone.
I'm not wasting my time.
But yeah, Kate was ready to just move on.
Right, because I don't want
to get married and settle down, and so she.
I don't want to play around anymore. So I make it clear at the first date. It might not work with other people, but at that point of myself, I don't want to waste my time anymore. Mm-hmm. So if it's gonna work, it's gonna work right now. If it doesn't, let's just end it. Mm-hmm. So all the questions I asked, and one thing that impressed me the most was, what was your hero?
Who's your hero?
Who is your hero? Because that question made me think of like, if he like someone, whatever he like, I want to hear the reason why. Mm-hmm. But he way off of that. So what was your answer? Who is your hero?
I know. I said my mom.
Why?
I don't remember the reason I gave, but
yeah.
You know, I mean, I know.
You give a really good reason.
Sorry,
like
I heard one of the kids are up.
Yeah.
So that's why I just froze. But I know.
You said
I don't know what I said exactly, but I still.
You said your mom is a good example to you, and she does so much, in like you're really grateful for her. And at that point that I was listening, I feel like he is going to be a good husband and he is going to be a good dad too, because he have that thought to say right there. And one time my dad said about guys that whoever I am going to marry, make sure that he treat his mom right. If he doesn't, don't marry him. And I remember that so well. And then you talk about your mom, and I was like, yeah, that's it. In my mind, I was like, I actually gonna marry him, but I didn't say anything because like I don't want it to be weird and stuff like that. And I also have a vision before I came here to America too. Like before I got on the flight, I actually dream about myself being at the wedding, and I actually see the groom back head right here. And the first time I saw him at church, I remember like the shape of his head right there. I feel like he could be it, but we'll see. And then when he answered that question, who is your hero? And he said his mom, and give all the expression about his mom, I just feel like he is the one. And then we just keep dating and stuff. And then the time is about to end again with the au pair. So I have to leave. He was asking, what about us?
Yeah, that was so this was really good for me because we're going really long, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it.
So
we're gonna make it.
We're going to try and we might summarize a whole lot here, but I don't want you to have a whole hour of the same topic. So try and and I only said that for myself because I couldn't just really be long-winded. But anyways, what was so good for me, I think, is that I didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I think that was good because I think I always saw myself like, I'll get married one day, right? It was kind of always a thing, I'll get married one day. But I was 24 then. Well, 23 when we started dating, and I turned 24. So in my mind, when I was young.
I want to share the answer that I answered you that day first.
Okay.
He was asking, like, what about us? And I was like, well, I talking to myself. This is all in my head. I was like, well, I have been dating you for a while. Not so long, but it's been a while. And I knew that I'm going to marry him. But if he's not gonna propose me, then it's his loss. So I told him, then we break up. Because I'm not going to wait. And I don't like Thailand and America.
And we should say, because I don't think we said yet, she would have been going back to Thailand at the end of that contract. So it's not like she'd have to find a new family.
Yeah.
Her 2 years in America was up, so she'd be going to Thailand.
Yeah.
So if you were confused.
Yeah, and then I told him that like America and Thailand is just so far away. And he has never been to Thailand, and I don't know what will be ahead of me when I go back, because I definitely gonna get a better job because my speaking was a lot better than the first year I came.
Yeah, so the jobs in Thailand, she mentioned earlier, one of the things she really wanted about coming to America was to speak better English, because English speakers would make more money in Thailand. You can get better jobs. So that was a lot of the motivation. So
yeah, and then I didn't know what ahead of me, because I definitely gonna get more money, and I will plan a bigger dream. So I don't want to wait. So I told him then, that's it. We will be friends when we don't have to wait. And
that's what was good for me, though. So I want to say what I was saying is what's good for me is that I think if I didn't have a deadline, we could have been dating for a really long time. I don't know, which is okay. But in our case, we both. I mean, look at where we are with our kids now. So it worked out. So it was good for me to have a deadline to know, like, all right, like, we need to get engaged and get married, and all by this time in order for her to stay here. And so we did. It worked out, and we have the best life now. So we couldn't be happier, especially with each other and with our kids.
Yeah.
So having that deadline, I know, was really important for me, because I can kind of put things. Yeah, we'll get married. It'll happen, but who knows? So having a deadline was good to push me.
Yeah. So he proposed me in March, and we got married in May 2018. Yeah. So this video
today, 4 years ago. Today that you're seeing the video right now. When you're watching it, not when we're filming the video. We're doing this a few days before.
Yeah.
But May 26, 2018.
So this will be 4 years for us, and we have 2 kids. One is Ty Morgan. He is 2.5 years old. He has been an amazing kid. Yeah. He is the best. So fun. And the second one is Thea. She is beautiful and full of drama. Just turned 1 yesterday. Yeah. Because no. This is gonna be on 26th. So it's tomorrow.
Right, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, so May 27th, Thea turns 1.
Yeah. So we are really grateful for her that she decided to be born on 27.
Not the 26th. Yeah. I remember being that week being worried, that week being last year. Yeah. Being worried, because Kate was feeling really ready. I think I'm going to give birth soon. I'm like, let's just have our anniversary, please, little Thea, Yeah. And she did it. She waited. Yeah. So we have a anniversary dinner on that day. And then the next day, 9 hours later. Yeah, I was at work at 3 a.m, and Kate calls me and says, I think I'm going into labor. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, how about you wait an hour?
I was like, no, I need to go right now, because I will need a epidural. On first time I give birth of Ty, I have no idea I was going to give birth. So I was dilated 6 centimeters, and guess how much pain that could cause me.
That was by the time she got to the hospital, so she was over halfway there. So.
Well, the whole night I was crying.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was too, because it's the first time.
We didn't want to go to the hospital and get sent back, because we had friends that had had it happen. I'm like, especially for me, that's the last thing I want to deal with, is going there and then having to come back home and be like, oh, sorry, they said you weren't ready.
Yeah. So for Thea, I'm like, no, you taking me to the hospital now. Can't leave your work.
And so we did.
Yeah. So I got epidural, and the second delivery was heaven. It was
compared
so
to
good.
The first.
Yeah.
Still gave birth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But well, that was it for Ty and Thea.
For Ty and Thea, and that's it for our story that people have been asking for 2 years.
So that's the long answer to the question of how did you meet.
Yeah.
But that's how we met.
Yeah, so from now on, if whoever asks the questions again, I'm gonna put this link.
Yeah.
And go watch it. Because we're not gonna type everything in.
Yeah. We get it a lot, so.
Yeah. So thank you so much for like loving us and watching until this far. Yeah, and I hope our story inspired or making you happy or making you laugh, because it's kind of funny and it's also sweet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funniest part being that I saw Kate for a long time.
A year.
And she never saw me once, so.
Yeah.
Until the time was right, though, so it all worked out.
Yeah,
I think God did the right thing by not talking. Maybe I would have blown it.
Probably. Yeah. The Lord have planned for us.
Yeah.
All of us, yeah.
But that's it. But thanks for watching. Thanks for all of your support. You guys, it means a lot. We read all the comments. You always have good feedback. You have such great things to say. So kind. It's fun. It's fun sharing our family with you and the things we get into.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
See you on the next one.